You may think your hotel is already green, but are you green enough for today's eco-conscious traveler? Welcome to the Sustainable Hospitality Podcast, your destination to learn from hospitality professionals on the value and opportunities sustainability will bring to your organization. It will put more heads in beds and lower costs at the same time. We are your hosts and sustainable hospitality experts, Kathy McGuire and Amy Walls.
I'm your host, Kathy McGuire. In this episode, we talk with Rick Hawkins, who led the sustainability efforts at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida for over 2 decades. You'll hear how they engaged and inspired their employees and about their community outreach programs. Enjoy the episode. Welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to introduce to you a very good friend of mine, Rick Hawkins, who was the Director of Materials Management at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. And I say was because he recently retired after 46 years. So congratulations on your retirement, Rick, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, one of the other things I wanted to mention was that if you're not familiar with what Directors of Materials Management is, everything that was purchased by the hotel went through Rick and his team. So that's quite a big responsibility that he had. In addition to that, he also led the sustainability programs for the Breakers, and they are numerous, let me tell you. But I want to give you a little background in that I've known Rick for at least 15 years. I worked for a resort here in the Palm Beaches, and because of his program, I was told to go to him to learn what to do for the resort I was working at. So he's been a great mentor and a very good friend of mine all of these years, and he will be missed very much at the Breakers. So as we get started, Rick, can you begin by telling us when the Breakers began their sustainability journey?
It's gone through many iterations. And if you're going to put a date on it, I'd say maybe 25 years. It's been said that we kind of took this on before it was cool, before it was a thing, but because we saw the need. But it started out simply we had a recycling program, and we wanted to enhance recycling. And that morphed into a tropical rainforest preservation work team. Our goal there was to reduce printing to save paper and trees. And then we formed a green team. And then eventually we abandoned the green team and created the sustainability team. So it's gone through a lot of iterations, but I'd say probably at least 25 years we were serious about doing things at the Breakers. And it was a team effort. None of us got paid to do sustainability work. We all had our own jobs. This was all above and on top of our jobs. We really saw the need for that, and we gleaned the support to get things done over there.
What kinds of things did you accomplish over the past 25 years? And I know there are numerous. You can start with the environmental things that you did, and also you really have engaged your employees and have lots of great programs for your employees. So if you could touch on those couple of things.
Oh, there's so many. And we can go way back into some of the big things we accomplished now. Back when CFL bulbs were coming to be known, and everybody poo-pooed them for hotels because, oh, look, they have a blue light, they make noise, and they look like a cheap motel light bulb. And we invited in a vendor who invited in GE, who was redeveloping these bulbs. And we had to prove, we outfitted rooms with these things, and we said, we challenge you to go into these rooms and see if you can tell the difference between incandescent light bulbs and a CFL bulb. And we proved our point that they've evolved into something better. This was back when CFLs were cool, a long time ago. And we proved that. We proved the energy savings that go along with this thing, and we outfitted the whole hotel. So just like that, it wasn't just a matter of saying, hey, let's switch the bulbs. We had to prove our point, and we got manufacturers involved to help us. We've done a lot of that over the years. Another example was window film. We said we can get a window film that will reduce the summertime temperature in the rooms drastically. And they said, yeah, sure. It won't last. So we brought in 3M along with the distributor, and we outfitted rooms with film, without film, and we did temperature checks. And it blew us away how much it saved. Now, this has been on our windows for years, and the energy savings are enormous. The cost wasn't much. So everything we did, these are just a couple examples where you can bring in manufacturers and prove a point, but where you can really reduce your carbon footprint and save tons of money at the same time. And what company doesn't want to increase their revenue and also do the right thing with the environment? So that's a couple of examples. One of the amazing things, we've done a lot with food too. We got involved with the Rainforest Alliance back when it was kind of new. And we myself and one of the owners of the company traveled to Birmingham to meet with Royal Cup Coffee, a huge coffee distributor nationwide. And we asked them about the Rainforest Alliance. They said, we'd never heard of it. It was kind of new then. So we told them what we were interested in, and they did some research. We spent a couple of days up there looking at their whole process and what everything to do. So we told them what we were interested in. So we buy a lot of coffee from you guys, and this is an opportunity to do something good for the environment. I want you to see what it would cost the breakers if we were to buy coffee certified by the Rainforest Alliance. So they did their research and came back to us, and it was astounding. They said, for a few cents a pound more, we can do this. We can do this. So we met with our executives and said, listen, we have a chance to do this. Nobody else is doing this. And it has a huge impact. So we did the taste test and everything else. And I said, here's a financial impact over a year. Inconsequential. So we became the first hotel in the world to offer Rainforest Alliance coffee to our customers. So there's just a couple of examples, where we were kind of trend setting, as just a single, hotel unit doing things that really affected the industry.
And you showed that it doesn't have to cost a lot more to be environmentally sound, and that's wonderful. Tell us about some of the programs that you have for your employees, because I've been to your resort many times. I've been to some of your meetings that you have with your team members. They're very engaged. So what kinds of things do you do for them?
Well, excuse me, not COVID, do for them and do with them. One of the things we did was kind of unique because we really take this seriously. So we created a policy for our employees and we laid out environmental programs for our policy, for our team. Says you can and cannot do this. For instance, we will not offer you plastic bottled water anymore. We don't encourage that. What we will do is we will provide drinking water stations and reusable cups and glasses for you to use around the hotel. So we're going to eliminate plastic. Since then, by the way, we partnered with the Surfrider Foundation, and all of our restaurants are now certified platinum by Surfrider and it's very tough certification, but that's eliminating all plastic in these things. So we did that. In the last couple of years, we actually got rid of all of our single-use plastic water bottles, and we partnered with a local company for aluminum cans, a local company in North Palm Beach, fledgling company, to recreate our water in stylish aluminum cans. So we got rid of all that plastic. We've done a lot.
Can I stop you there just 1 second? I know this is unusual, but I happen to have a can of that water right here, so I'm going to show it.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Yes, our local water. I don't know if you can see that because of the lighting, but it does come in a can, and it is right here locally sourced, and it's absolutely fabulous water to drink. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for that example. And it's great because it's not only the elimination of plastic, the water that goes in there is from an aquifer that's about 70 miles away. So the whole carbon footprint of the whole manufacturing process is very, very low. So yeah, it's win-win-win on that. So we've done so much in that vein. And again, I mentioned that we offered and gave to our employees reusable coffee cups, reusable water bottles, all these things they can use to not use plastic. Food is a big part of what we did. We spent a lot of time trying to get Florida food into Florida eaters' mouths. And we won't go into the whole formation and creation of Locally Copia, something that we also did. It wasn't a Breakers organization, but it was helped by the Breakers. But the idea was we wanted to get local Florida food into our restaurants. Now, chefs, bless their hearts, are not the best at planning in advance. So it's really hard to work with a Florida farmer to plan in advance to get your stuff. It's so much easier the morning you need stuff to call your produce company and said, I need this and this and this. So one of the things we did is we partnered with some local farmers and said, here's what we want. What can you grow for us? And they told us what they can grow. And says, these are the things we can use. We'll buy this much from you every week, guaranteed throughout the growing season, if you can deliver that. So now what we've done, we have guaranteed fresh local produce from Florida farmers coming in every week. And they have a guaranteed income source. And small Florida farms struggle. So this really helps them out when they have a guaranteed income over the whole growing season for things they can do. So we've got local food into our restaurants. We thought that was pretty important, but we did something else too that nobody'd really done. As a small independent business, small with 2,000 employees, we offered a green market to our team members every Friday afternoon for 4 hours. We would set up by our employee entrance, set up tables. We would bring stuff from all these different Florida farms, and we would open up a green market at cost, no profit there, at cost. Everything that we paid for, we charge our employees, and they could go shopping on their way out on Fridays without having to go to the store. And they were getting the freshest, healthiest produce you can buy. So we really got involved in the food process as well, and the benefits. First of all, demonstrating to people what real food is, what Florida can, what Florida farming is all about. Getting the money back into the local community. This is all important stuff. But Kathy, we did a lot of innovative things. The most important thing we did as a sustainability team was education. Because I'll tell you what, it's 29 degrees this morning in my house. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, what global warming? It's 29 degrees in South Florida. There's so much disinformation out there. We spent a lot of time educating our team. One of my coworkers in marketing was certified by CLEO, Climate Leadership Education Outreach in Miami, who was certified as a speaker for that organization, and she got all the materials. So her and I created an education program that lasted about an hour that we put in front first of our executive team to show them what the nature of the world is and climate change, what the future looks like and what we can do about it. So we did it. We created this wonderful presentation, gave it to our executive team, and then we moved on to upper management, mid-management, line level, and we trained hundreds and hundreds of people. Sometimes one group, we even rented a movie theater over 2 days and had like 150 people each day with a big screen and with this presentation. But it was an opportunity to show people the reality, because again, there's so much misinformation about that. And I won't get into politics, but there's so much denial about the reality. So we were able to show what the reality of climate change is, why it's important for our company and each person that we're talking to take this seriously and do something about it. And then the outreach. So to me, I think the most important thing we accomplished was teaching people what the future looks like and what their role is for themselves and their kids and their kids' kids to create a better world out there. And again, the Breakers Hotel was kind enough to allow us to do this and support that. So to me, education and getting people on the right path was the most important thing we did for our employees, because those lessons, they took those home. Most often, parents have to learn from their kids what they learn in school. But now we could kind of do something. The parents can take that back home to the kids and says, guess what I learned at work today, and I'm gonna do my part to make a better world for you.
Right. What I have learned from everything that you've done there at the Breakers is that you've embedded it into your core business strategy. It's a part of what every employee does every day, just like it's the way you make the bed, the way you set the table. This is how we operate. our business. And it sounds like through all the education, you've inspired your employees. And I know because I happen to have attended some of your sustainability weekly meetings. And talk to us a little bit about why that consistency matters, that you meet every week or every other week, or even if it's just once a month, to keep the momentum going. Because it's easy to, get lazy and like, but if it's always front and center, just like when you have team meetings about this is our customer service, our guest service for today, you have your lineup meetings. Talk to us a little bit about that consistency.
That's a good question. Let's go back to the squeaky wheel principle. If the wheel doesn't squeak, there's nothing wrong with it, right? But if there's some noise out there, you better deal with that. So yes, our meetings, our formal meetings were only once a month because again, this is on a volunteer basis, but we worked, within that with different work groups and different projects. But what we also did is our company has a program called Hotelevision. Every back of the house workspace has got a big screen TV, and we are constantly putting out information on it. It's a great information source. And what we did, at one point, it was almost all us, but at one point, we put out messages about sustainability. So every day, people got to see something about sustainability. It's funny. And the people in the sustainability team are very active and very impassioned. At one point in time, we just can't get our team to get a good handle on recycling. So in our cafeteria, we have a station where you bust your trays after you eat. And here's clearly marked waste, recycling, and with instructions on how to do this. And people still couldn't get it right. So one of our team put a GoPro above that. And we were without catching people's faces, just their hands and what they were doing to show people what they were doing wrong. And we posted on Hotelevision. So here's what's you're supposed to be doing, and here's what the people are actually doing. So like that message to Hotelevision was critical. So we also created a larger work team called Green Heroes. We invited people from all every department over there to be representatives back to their department. So we would teach them things and then they bring that back. So always getting a message out there. We never wanted sustainability to get dormant or get not talked about because it was so important. So we spent a lot of time communicating that within ourselves and then to the entire team.
That's absolutely fabulous. Rick, you should be very, very proud of the work that you did at the Breakers and all your many years there. I mean, 46 years is a very long time, and you've done wonderful things at the Breakers. And many of the things that you mentioned, first of all, when you talk about bringing suppliers in, like the window film company and the coffee company, that's great supply chain management. You went right to your suppliers and said, this is what we want. A lot of times hotels just accept what their vendors are offering instead of asking or even demanding what they want. And so, that's a credit to the Breakers. And the other thing is about the Breakers, everything is, it's right on the beach. It's very famous, lots of wealth and that sort of thing. But most of the things you mentioned here didn't cost more. It was about engaging your employees and finding out that it was only a few cents more per pound to get the coffee. Lots of people make the assumption that, it's just going to cost us too much. We're going to have to put solar panels on the roof and all that. But you didn't mention solar panels once. So look at all of these other things you can do. So I want to thank you so much for imparting this information because I think it's going to be invaluable for those who are listening to this. And Rick, I want you to have an excellent retirement, and I'm going to come to visit you when you move to Asheville because I want to go ziplining. So
look forward to that, Kathy.
Okay. Take care of yourself. And thanks again, Rick.
Thank you for joining us today on the Sustainable Hospitality Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you'd like a free consultation on becoming a much greener hotel, please visit us at sustainablehospitalitypodcast.com.